Good day, Chair. We are Group Secure Assets Financial from Grade 11 News. We're going to discuss about our bank. Firstly, our bank background is a resource with economic value that an individual, operations, country-owned, or controls with the expectation that it will provide a future benefit. Assets are reported on a company balance sheet and are brought or created to increase a firm's value or benefits the firm's operations. There are types of assets. When we speak about assets in accounting, we're generally referring to 6 different categories: current assets, fixed assets, tangible assets, intangible assets, operating assets, and non-operating assets. These assets can belong to multiple categories. We have also 6 classes assets. First, domestic equities, global equities, currency, bond income, commodities, and lastly, real estate. What makes an asset a security? A security is a financial instrument. Typically, any financial forwarder contracts derive their own value from an underlying assets. Investor may purchase the right to buy or sell the underlying assets at a later date for a determined price.
What financial statement is bank loan of? All assets including land, equipment, office and factory, buildings, cash, and so on are on the right-hand side of the balance sheet. Liabilities such as loan obligation to other bank, payables to suppliers, from item purchase or credits or upcoming tax payment are the right-hand side of the balance sheet. How are loans related deposit? If banks hold only a fraction of their deposit are reserved to the process of the bank's needing money, those loans being a deposit in banks, and the banks made additional loans will create money in the economy. Is bank loan and assist a liability? However, of bank deposits is a liability in its balance sheet, whereas loans are assist because the bank pays depositors interest but earns incoming from the loans.
When a company borrows money from its bank, the amount received is recorded with a debit to cash and a credit to a liability account such as notes payable or loans payable, which is reported on the company's balance sheet. If banks hold only a fraction of their deposits as reserves, then the process of banks lending money, those loans being redeposited in banks and the banks making additional loans will create money in the economy. However, for a bank, a deposit is a liability on its balance sheet, whereas loans are assets because the bank pays depositors interest but earns interest income from loans. In other words, when your local bank gives you a mortgage, you are paying the bank interest and principal for the life of the loan. The deposit itself is a liability owned by the bank to the depositor. When someone opens a bank account and makes a cash deposit, he surrenders the legal title to cash and it becomes an asset of the bank.
What are 4 types of financial assets? A contractual claim to something of value. Modern economists have 4 main types of financial assets: bank deposits, stocks, bonds, and loans. What are the 4 types of securities investment that you can invest in? Bonds, corporate bonds, investment grade bonds, municipal bonds, U.S. Treasury bonds. Are stocks really assets? Stocks are financial assets, not real assets. Financial assets that are paper assets that can be easily converted to cash. Assets that are really easily converted to cash are known as liquid assets. Those that cannot be converted to cash easily, such as real estate and plant equipment. How are loans and deposits classified on the balance sheet? Loans and deposits to consumers. As such, loans to consumers are classified as assets. This is because the bank accepts to receive interest and principal repayments and financial modeling, interest expense flows for loan in the future and thus generate economic benefit from loans.
Are financial security assets. Financial securities, also referred to as a financial instrument or financial asset, is a generic term used to describe stocks, bonds, money market securities, and other instruments representing the right to receive future benefits under a set of stated conditions. Do banks do with deposits? In short, banks don't take the money that you deposit, turn around and loan it a higher interest rate, but they do use the money you deposit to balance their books and meet the necessary cash reserves that make those loans possible. Is financial investment as asset. Investment assets are tangible or intangible items obtained for producing additional income or held for speculation and anticipation of a future increase in value. Examples of investments. Assets include mutual funds, stock, bonds, real estate, and retirement savings accounts. Is assets and finance secured lending? Assets finance is a type of lending that enables you to access business assets such as equipment, machinery, and vehicle without having to buy them upfront. Generally speaking, there are two types of assets finance: lending secured against existing assets and equipment finance to get additional assets.
That's all about our bank. I hope you understand our discussion. Be safe